Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Aja Goare. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un used a New Year's Day message to warn America he now has a nuclear button on his office desk. CBS's Aja Goare has more on how South Korea may get involved.
South Korea says it is willing to meet for talks with North Korea 1 week from today. In a nationally televised address, South Korea's unification minister proposed the two sides meet in the shared border town of Panmunjom to talk about Olympic cooperation and how to improve overall ties. The move comes after North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un said Monday that he is willing to send a delegation to the Winter Olympics. South Korea is hosting the Olympics beginning in February. President Trump has long insisted that talks with North Korea should only happen if the country is willing to give up its nuclear program, something that Kim Jong-un says won't happen. Some analysts view Kim's offer as a way for the North to drive a wedge between the U.S. and South Korea. The U.S. wants to pressure North Korea to give up its weapons program through UN sanctions and oil embargoes. The president tweeted this morning, sanctions and other pressures are beginning to have a big impact on North Korea. Rocket Man now wants to talk to South Korea for the first time. Perhaps that is good news, perhaps not. We will see. Aja Goare, CBS News, the White House.
South Korea's president may be betting that having a North Korean delegation at the Winter Olympics will ensure the safety of the Games, hoping North Korea won't launch an attack on the South if there are North Koreans at the Olympics. Meanwhile, relatives and friends are mourning the deaths of 10 Americans killed in a New Year's Eve plane crash in Costa Rica. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are traveling to the crash site to assist in the investigation. Costa Rican officials believe mechanical problems and weather may have factored into the crash. Much of the United States is in the grips of a dangerous deep freeze. The National Weather Service issued wind chill advisories and freeze warnings for much of the country, including the Deep South. On New Year's Day, the temperature in Aberdeen, South Dakota dropped to minus 32 degrees, breaking a New Year's Day record set 99 years ago. In the Bronx, the bitter cold made it more difficult for New York City firefighters to battle a 6-alarm fire at a furniture store. We go to the Flathead County, where 2 men died in separate snowboarding incidents this weekend. MTN's Nicole Miller reports.
22-year-old Connor Heidegger of Rollins and 28-year-old Scott Robert Hornstra of Alberta lost their lives in separate incidents while snowboarding Saturday in Flathead County. The first incident occurred off Blacktail Road in Lakeside. Heidegger was out of bounds and some distance from the Blacktail ski area when he attempted to jump off a cliff and died from blunt force trauma.
He never even came to the ski area. He was off to the side of the road. Skiing inbounds where you have the support of patrol is important. And we responded as Good Samaritans because we heard of the call through the Lakeside Quick Response Unit.
The second incident occurred at Whitefish Mountain Resort. Hornstra became separated from his group. Flathead Search and Rescue found him early Sunday morning, upside down in a tree well. The resort released a statement saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened by this tragic accident. Any death at our resort is an event that impacts the entire Whitefish Mountain Resort community. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends as they cope during this difficult time." Riley Columbus with the resort says it's an unfortunate reminder of the inherent risks of the sport.
It's an unfortunate risk of our sport that tree wells as well as deep snow can be a very serious hazard.
Columbus says when the powder is fresh, guests should take some extra precautions.
The best way to avoid this kind of a tragedy is to avoid deep snow and trees completely, stay on groomed runs. However, if you are going to go and enjoy the trees and enjoy the powder, you should be skiing with someone else, and you should always keep your partner in sight.
In Flathead County, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
Thank you, Nicole. And the last time someone died at Whitefish Mountain Resort was in 2014. The crowded race for Montana's only U.S. House seat has one less candidate today. Democratic State Representative Tom Woods of Bozeman says he's dropping out. That leaves 5 Democrats vying to challenge Republican incumbent Greg Gianforte. In a post on his personal Facebook page, Woods said he can't compete with the deep financial pockets of at least two of his competitors in the Democratic primary. He noted that attorney John Heenan of Billings and former Land Trust Director Grant Keir of Missoula have already raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. Woods says those amounts are well over 10 times what he's been able to raise. Candidate filings begin next week, and Democrats will choose their nominee for the House race in the June 5th primary election. With the start of the new year, Montanans will pay more to register their vehicles. Lawmakers approved new fees last year to help fund the state motor vehicle division. The MVD will now add a 3% administrative charge to its current fees, including vehicle registration. There will be an additional $825 fee on light vehicles worth $125,000 or more, and an $800 fee on motorhomes worth $300,000 or more. Also new this year, Montana businesses that hire workers and offer them training through state apprenticeship programs will have access to a new tax credit. That credit will be larger when businesses hire veterans. The new law was among Governor Steve Bullock's top legislative priorities last year. Meanwhile, some of Montana's lowest paid workers will see a raise on their next paycheck. Montana's minimum wage increased by 15 cents an hour to $8.30. State law requires the Department of Labor and Industry to adjust the minimum wage based on the rate of inflation. The job categories with the largest number of minimum wage workers are accommodations and food, followed by retail trade. The highest local minimum wage is found in SeaTac, Washington at $15.64 an hour. The federal minimum wage currently stands at $7.25 an hour. Still ahead on the noon news, a deadly rash of protests in Iran leads President Trump to weigh in. We'll tell you what he said next. But first, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching